Hello and welcome to Emotionally Blooming, where we go a little deeper into our emotions and we use plants and gardening and all the like to help us create that metaphor and help us to understand our emotions. So here we are. I am on my back porch and I'm going to be doing a lot of replanting, or a lot of repotting, fixing the soil, and thought it was just a good time to kind of just, talk about, doing that in our own lives. So there's a lot going on. Okay. Well, if you know anything about repotting and replanting and doing the things, it's a lot of, and keeping plants, it's a lot of effort and love and care. And I love my plants. So when I notice that they need to have a new pot, like this one, it's growing a little bit bigger, and this little, it's in this, but it really should be in this container that I put it in. So it really should be repotted into there. And you just take the time to give them new life and give them new soil and give them new love is super important. I also have some propagations that I want to put into some soil, and I need to do that as well. They're sitting in water just to kind of keep them nourished while I work on the rest of things. I did take off my nails so that I could really dig into the dirt, because I like to feel the dirt while I do these things. But yeah, isn't that like, I felt like that was like a perfect metaphor, and you can kind of tell that the roots are coming out of this. So yeah, she needs to be repotted. So, and look at that. Look at all those roots. That is called root bound, my friend, where she needs to, some kind of wiggling, setting her free a little bit. I'm going to put her in more soil. So I'm being really gentle with loosening up the roots because I don't want to break them. So I'm just wiggling my finger in between, just kind of loosen this up a little bit. And I'm going to take that, plop it down so I have some soil in there. And then I'm going to cover it back up with some soil. Give her a nice little new bed of like food and soil to kind of spread out, grow more. So so I felt like that was a good metaphor for a podcast of giving ourselves food and a repositioning in life. There's a lot of times when our emotions and the things that we're going through, I feel like, are very much overwhelming, and we need to take a moment to reevaluate where we are, reevaluate, kind of what soil we're in, and think about, do we need to be repotted? Don't worry, I will clean this off before I put her back inside. Do we need to be repotted? Do we need to have more food? Do we need a different pot? Do we need a different vessel? Do we need to change things? I'm going to set her out of the sun. She's a snake plant and she doesn't like direct sun, so I put her out of the sun. And just to kind of reevaluate where we are, where we are in the whole scheme of things, of our life. I think it's good to reassess at times. I made this little clay snake too. Look, she has a bow to put in my pots. I might clean her off. Give her a little swish in the water. So that's fun. Yeah, we need to reevaluate where we are in our journeys, right? And just like repotting, reevaluation is, I think, key to health, mental health, and awareness and all those things. Okay, this pot looks like this soil is pretty grungy. So I'm just going to, I have a like a throwaway pot that I'm going to just dump some of the soil that I don't feel like is really good. It's really dry. It's not very good anymore. So I'm going to dump that out and put new ones in. So I think I'm going to put my spider plant in this one. This one grew from an itty bitty from my neighbor. And see how I'm just barely moving up in size? But even then, that does a world of difference for our plants. They just, you know, we make gradual steps. Like, I'm not putting her into like that huge, see that gigantic pot? Well, I wouldn't anyways. That's my gardenia. I wouldn't put her in there, but grab my dump pot there. But I'm not putting her in that large pot. I'm not putting her right away into something that she can't handle, right? I don't think she can handle that. So what I do is I do a pot that is just slightly bigger, not ginormously bigger. And I think that's also a good metaphor for our lives. Like, when we make changes, when we do the things that, you know, when we notice that we need to make a change, or, you know, that we're doing that reevaluating, we don't make huge, gigantic changes. Or at least I try not to. I mean, that might work for some people, but for me, no. I'm just gonna wiggle this. Oh, there she comes. Woo! Look, she was root bound too. All those roots down there. And making those slow changes in our lives, the slow movements, the slow acclimations to the new thing is really beneficial, you know, is really the pacing is what is really helpful for me. I know that I can't go, I'm holding her hair so it doesn't get in the way. She has such long hair. I know it's beneficial for me to not do big changes all at once. I'm the type of person who likes a slow change, gradual, over the course of, you know, so just like I am doing, you know, just like a one step up pot. That's what I feel like doing in life, you know, is do the gradual changes. Second pot done. So it doesn't take that long, but it does take time and effort and noticing that we need to make certain changes. Now, sometimes I don't notice the changes that need to be made, and my plants get a little grungy looking. I'll show you right there. This one, she's struggling. And I need to evaluate what I need to do with her, because she's super long and she only thrives if she has like a ton of water. So she's a very water, she sucks up a lot of, you know, into her soil. So I need to look at that plant and see kind of what's going on, because I'm not quite sure if I'm doing her justice in that pot. So I need to make sure about that one. So I have some cactus here, and I might give them the dry dirt, because they're cactus. They don't like tons of moisture. So I might give them the dry dirt that I gave up. This one, she's in this pot, but I feel like that pot is too big for her, honestly. So she went from this little one to that big one, and I think I need to kind of go in between. But yeah, I do feel like, you know, we need to evaluate our circumstances and see kind of where we are and what changes need to be made. You know, look at our surroundings. Look at what's going on. Ooh, she has some nice roots there, but she definitely does like a soil that's a little bit more crumbly. And still, I don't think this. So I made a decision, but I still don't think this pot's good. It's not supporting. So this pot is not supporting all of this. This just flops over. See that? So I'm gonna make another choice. I might put her back in the pot that she was in, but just not have that second cup in there. And this pot hopefully should support, the edge should support her. Aloe vera is a little touchy, but she is resistant to a lot, you know, if you don't watch over. So I'm gonna so hopefully this edge will support that heaviness. I have some squirrels above me that are having some fun. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, so I just evaluated and I just noticed that maybe that wasn't the right, you know, I was making a choice for this plant and maybe that wasn't the best choice for this plant. You know, it wasn't the best that I could give her, you know, and maybe it was good that she was in the pot that she was in at first, you know, and that's also something that's also a hard decision to make. That's a hard realization, is that, you know, maybe we do want to make a change and we want to make, you know, we feel like we should make a change and we have that, like, you know, pull on our heart or maybe our, you know, just our soul that, yeah, something needs to change, something needs to happen. But then we do that change or we do that thing and then we realize, oh, well, wait, maybe that wasn't, you know, the best. And it's a hard realization that we have to go back to what we were doing. That looks good. So she is actually in the same pot she was in, but she's just, oh, I broke off one. Uh-oh. Well, the good thing about aloe vera is that there's some benefits to, we can squeeze out some of that and, ooh, we can use that for something. Okay. There's some benefits to staying where we are as well. We may not like it. We may not like that we weren't able to make the change or that it wasn't, quote, doable at the time. But sometimes that's what we have to do. And those are hard, right? Those moments of realization are hard. They're hard to say, I was wrong about that choice, or I was wrong about that, you know, whatever that was. And yeah, so it's interesting, right? I'm gonna dunk. For some reason, I just feel like she needed a dunk in the water. Her soil was really crispy. So we're gonna just, yeah, we're gonna do that. Do I get my knowledge of plants from anywhere, really? No. Am I making most of this up as I go along? Yeah. I know I should probably consult internet and things, but sometimes I feel like certain choices, like what I'm doing with it, what I did with this one, just feel it. I don't know if that makes sense. And maybe I'm doing her an injustice. Maybe something happens to this plant and I didn't do it right. I hope not. I hope I did everything right. I hope I didn't shock her to, you know, shock her roots or anything. I'm hoping I'm doing it. And that is another metaphor for this whole situation. Sometimes we make changes and it shocks our system. Sometimes we make changes and even though it's a small change, it really makes our system go, what in the world? Like, what did I do? Like, I can't believe I did this, or, you know, and it makes that shock to our system just go, those squirrels are just having a great time. So we got that one done. And yeah. And it's okay, I think. It's okay sometimes to, you know, in change, it's always those moments where, you know, we will have shocks to our system. We will have, you know, we will be grateful at times. We will have all these things, you know. But yeah. So I pulled some dead leaves off. That's another thing about making changes and making, you know, new things is we have to take off some of the stuff that's not good, you know, to make it change. Like this plant, this is one of my many wandering Jews, and they get a lot of dried up little pieces every now and then. So I need to kind of clean them out, wash them out, and repot them. And they look great down here, but all, you know, that's another metaphor. The outside might look wonderful and great, and we got a little piece that fell off. That's okay. The outside might look wonderful and great, but the inside looks not so good. And that is, I think, a metaphor as well. Sometimes the inside is what we need to work on. The outside might look really pretty. We can change the pot, we can do with the soil, we can do other things, which could be part of the inside. Like, I hate to lose nice branches off of my plant, but it wasn't attached well, and maybe I can propagate it. And I hate to lose parts of this, but what I'm gonna do is they're very resilient. So I'm going to this might be shocking, but I'm gonna take them totally apart. And I'm thinking I'm gonna add like all these pieces that broke off, because where there is the root base, I can put it back in the soil and it'll reroot itself and it will grow again. And that's like part of, I think that's also, you know, getting down to inside the nitty gritty. It's hard, but you know what? Sometimes we just have to, you know? And I think I want to use the same pot, but this pot is pretty gnarly and gross. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get all of this junk off. I'm going to dump her out on the table. Thank goodness I'm doing this on a table, right? Ooh, yeah. And I'm going to just clean that out and give her just a whole new everything. And the soil is a little, I think it's too yucky. It's too mushy. So I'm going to give her some new stuff here. Yeah, definitely. This was all just there. Nothing in it. No roots in it, nothing. So yeah, she definitely needed a big change. So I'm gonna go rinse this out. So I just have a whole bunch of pieces here of this Wandering Jew, and we're going to repot, and we're just gonna randomly stick these pieces back in and hopefully make her a little happier. Because at the base of some of these, they get really kind of spindly. So we're going to give her some new soil, some new potting soil, and we're gonna build it up. We're not gonna water her as much as after looking at the base and everything, I was feeling like, okay, maybe I watered her too much. So see all this, it's kind of like dead. just going to pick this off. But all this is good root. So I'm just going to lay it down in the pot. And I'm going to cover it up eventually. Now, I think I'm going to take off some more. And I know I'm going to sacrifice some things. And isn't that what we do in our lives? We sacrifice things to feel better. We sacrifice things to grow. We sacrifice a lot. So I'm going to do that here. Finding the end sometimes, or the right end, is hard. Like, I feel like this is the long end. So I'm just going to take some of this off. And it might, yeah, it's good. It has leaves, it has all the things, but sometimes, yeah, that sacrifice comes and we need to make it. So I'm going to put that down in there. Just going to leave, so I'm just going to try to find some more good pieces to stick in the soil. I might save that one for a sec. But yeah. So I think the lesson, or the what I'm gleaning from today and today's repotting is that, you know, there's a lot of good that can be said for what we're doing, you know, what we're doing in our lives when we take the time to evaluate, look at our situation, look at what's going on, and make those decisions for good, you know, for the benefit. And it's hard because, you know, making these decisions for ourselves sometimes can be difficult. I'll tell you this, sometimes I'd rather revert back, like, somebody help me make decisions, you know. And sometimes making those decisions on our own is difficult, and sometimes we have to, you know, change the whole scenery, like change the whole pot. Sometimes we have to change the insides, change the soil. Sometimes we have to change everything, which, oh, that sucks and it hurts and it feels like, well, why do I have to do that? Like, nobody else is doing all these big things. You know, sometimes we don't know what everybody's going through, and we just have to worry about what we're going through, right? So making those changes is hard. Sometimes it can be easy. Sometimes we know we need to do it. Like, I knew I need to make some of these changes for my pots. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, I need to do that. I need to fix that. You know, we can obviously see the obvious things. Sometimes it's not so obvious. So as we're working through our, you know, going through this crazy life, I just encourage you to not be too scared to make the change, to, you know, make a step, because we're all in this, we're doing it, we're making those changes. You're not alone. Just encourage you, you're not alone. We got this, we can do it. And yeah, it's okay to get a little dirty too while we're doing it, because life can be messy, right? It can be so messy. Well, I encourage you to keep going on this week. Keep doing your best. And yeah, we're all in this together. All right, friends, thank you for joining me for this blooming podcast where we go just a little deeper into our emotions. We'll talk to you later.